Hey now, Team Fireball, Matt Haywood here from the Star Wars Time Show to recap and review the latest episode of Star Wars Resistance, The Disappeared, aka S1E18. The episode kicks off with a race, but Pyre is none too pleased and informs Doza that races may have to be cancelled for security purposes. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, Kaz and crew are hanging out in Anzi's when a few troopers come in and force her to have a recruitment holo ad in her bar, to which she protests and puts a target on her back. Tora and her pops discuss the seemingly never-ending stream of troopers hitting the platform these days, and then Pyre arrives to tell Doza that he is canceling races for the time being and grounding the Aces permanently, all under the guise of security. The Aces clearly are pissed at the news, but Hype takes it the worst and storms off while bitching about the First Order. Big mistake, because the First Order locks down his ship and we later find out they also lock him up too. Back at the Fireball shop, Tam questions Kaz about damage to the ship from his dogfight with Von Reg from last episode, but he lies his way out of it. Although, Tam remains as suspicious of Kaz as ever, which will burn him in the end. Kaz and Tam continue to talk about the First Order and Anzi's, and she defends them through and through. She's clearly been fooled. BB-9E listens in and rats him out to the troopers because he's a jerk like that. Tor and Kaz go look for Hype's ship after the First Order told them he flew off. They find it, so they now know that the First Order is lying, but they return to Anzi's, and now she's gone too, so they start to figure out that the First Order is taking citizens who talk smack against them. It's revealed that Hype, Z, and other citizens are being held in crates to be shipped off the Colossus for openly talking about and or defying the First Order. Meanwhile, Kaz and Tora stumble upon Doza and Yeager plotting behind closed doors. Doza makes it clear that he now knows too that the First Order is taking citizens who are revolting against them, so he and Yeager are trying to find a way to break the comms blackout. Meanwhile, they bless Kaz and Tora's plan to go help those who have already been caught. Kaz and Tora find Aunt Z and Hype and tell them that they all need to steal the transport they're about to be shipped off on. With some teamwork, they jack the ship, and Aunt Z flies to Takodana with Hype and the others to keep them safe. Kaz returns to the shop, but finds Pyre and a platoon of troopers in there who basically have the whole gang under arrest. The end. I wouldn't say this was a great episode of Resistance because it was a bit slow and not much really took place, but it did feature two very major moments that will impact the series moving forward, so it was still good for providing a bit of lore. The whole plot of the episode of citizens being taken and shipped to God knows where wasn't very interesting in itself, but thanks to two of its revelations, the rather generic plot got bolstered with some solid foreshadowing if anything else. The first moment I refer to is the revelation that Doza and Yeager are working together to take down the comms blackout by the First Order so they can contact the Resistance for help. This signals that Doza fully knows what he got the Colossus into by letting the First Order run security, and he fully understands what their intentions are at this point. We've known Yeager to be in the know, and while he may still be the dark horse in terms of possibly being a First Order mole himself, seeing him teaming up with Doza really helped to push this show's first season plot to the brink. So moving forward, things are going to be quite dire now that Doza and other power players are recognizing the station has been lost to the First Order. The other major moment is of course the cliffhanger ending, which leaves Kaz, Yeager, Niku, Tam, and CB in a tight spot with the First Order. For whatever reason, and I'm guessing that reason is Tam's loose lips and mistrust of Kaz, the First Order has them under arrest, and there's no real way to spin that moving forward. So from here on out, it appears that Kaz and crew will be openly battling, escaping, undermining, etc. with the First Order, so the remaining episodes should be action-packed and full of nerve-wracking moments. So while this episode as a whole might have felt a bit underwhelming, its events definitely have set things in motion that will undoubtedly lead to an explosive final run of episodes as Resistance winds its first season to a close. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Haywood from the Star Wars Time Show, where there's always time for Star Wars time. May the Force be with you, always.